Hi, my name is Frank Patinello. I'm a senior education advocate for the ACLU of Maryland, and we're here for the Kerwin hearing, which will overall funding and school policies for school districts throughout Maryland. The ACLU is particularly concerned about the funding formula, making sure that all districts get fair and equitable and adequate funding for their schools. We're concerned about accountability, making sure that that process is collaborative and constructive and not punitive in terms of taking away dollars that they believe aren't being spent well. That should be a collaborative process, and making sure those resources get to the kids and that they're spent effectively. And third, we're looking at race equity policies in education, making sure that this bill really has a framework to implement culturally responsive pedagogy in schools and in the classrooms, making sure that teachers are culturally competent, that there's an increase and retention of Black and brown teachers, and that these teachers really understand how to work with students competently, understand their experiences, and be able to connect with the students. In the funding formula, the state provided an analysis, and right now it looks like they're decreasing the weights or the amount of funding for low-income and English language learners. Overall, the funding goes up for everyone because they're increasing the base, but the amount that is multiplied against the foundation per pupil is now being dropped a little. So there's less of a difference in terms of funding between middle and wealthy students versus low-income students. So we're looking for that to be restored or potentially increased for both low-income students and English language learners. Low-income students and English language learners have barriers to overcome. Barriers of resources, making sure that there are extra counselors, social workers, after-school programs, and the like that are there to help those children, removing those barriers of poverty and the barrier of language in education so that they can succeed. We don't know what's happening with the wealth calculation, but right now it's requiring Baltimore City to increase its contribution, local contributions significantly. And we expected that, and we want all districts to up their contribution to education because the students need it. The problem is that it looks like Baltimore City's per pupil requirement is higher than Baltimore County's per pupil requirement. And that's just one example of what we're seeing in the analysis provided by the state. And that's disequalizing because Baltimore City has a lot less resources, a lot lower tax base, while having a very high tax effort. So we need to look at this, we need the committees to look at this, and we need a fix. I think it's really important for people to be here to talk directly with their advocates, speak with us. We're willing to collaborate with you, but we have to be laser focused on race equity within this formula and within this whole effort. Right now, the disparity is with Black and brown children, low-income children, special education children. We have to make sure that they get the resources that they need because they're the ones that have been left behind.